So this is going to be a prep video. This wasn't supposed to be a prep video. This was supposed to be a infill video from how I went from a classic open eye to a hybrid cat feline flick. But it ended up the whole thing looking like this. So what's the point in that? I could do with like an 11-year-old that sort of understands phones and lighting and cameras and stuff. But we'll get there. In this prep video, it's probably going to look a lot like all the other prep videos, but I am going to go through and slow down some of the sections when you see, you know, how I'm moving the tape about and the pads about, and what helps me, because I do have a few problems, you know, with pads, and, you know, how I'm using the little micro brushes and how I'm shampooing the lashes. So I'm going to try and break that down as to how I do it. I did find little things like that a little bit of a struggle at the beginning, because when you're in your training, you go through the prep like super quick, and then you just expected to know what you're doing. So especially like a shampoo and things like that. My first shampoo, I was like, did not want to do it. So hopefully it will help you, calm you a little bit, and just know that it's okay. So I hope this video is going to be super helpful for anybody struggling with their prep work. I always take time to do this. I never skip a step. It's super important to make sure that the lashes are ready. Otherwise, you're going to have retention problems. Nightmare. So here we go. So I pumped about a pump and a half onto her eyelid of the foam cleanser, massaging it into the lashes and on her eyelid. Obviously not that fast. But then I rinsed it off camera because my head got in the way with some normal water, and then I'm patting it dry. So she did put a bit of mascara on these. These are classics, so it's not the end of the world. Obviously we say don't put mascara on them, but she's been at work all day. What you gonna do? So I'm just going through with some cotton buds and micellar water on those, just to make sure that all of the mascara is off. So I'm massaging them back and front together, and as you can see, that's all coming off nice and clean. Then I'm taking micro brushes. I'm using one to control the eyelid, because a lot of clients will start to sort of squint at this point, and then I'm using the other one to brush right in between every single eyelash, so you've got total control there. It will pull the eyelid up towards you so you can get right in between. And then I'm going to give them a little brush just to get rid of anything that's loose, anything that wants to come out, which it did not. Oh, hello. And then making sure that all the skin around is oil free, otherwise the pads will slip about everywhere. You'll never get them on. Makeup free, oil free is what we want. So now with both tweezers, always making sure that the tweezers are never pointing directly into her eyeball area. So keeping them facing away from the eyeball. So the isolation tweezers are facing down towards her cheek, and the volume tweezers are facing sort of towards her nose. That way you will never poke her in the eye. I'm gonna get the base of the natural lash with one pair of tweezers and the extension, and just peel them apart. So I'm going through them, isolating them. I think them two are stuck. There we go, peel it apart, that one's come off. So grabbing the natural lash and the extension, peeling them apart. They don't always come apart that easily. Sometimes you need to get to the root of the natural lash and try and bend the extension towards you, and it would ping off. Or if none of that's working because there's quite a lot of glue on there, then you can get a micro brush with a little bit of liquid remover and just pop that on there, on that one lash. Leave it, come back to it in about a minute, and it should just be ready to come off. Then just clean that lash with a clean micro brush and some micellar water. So again, just still going through, making sure that every single lash is isolated. So peeling them apart, and they should just come off nice and easy. So those two are stuck together. So I'm using both sets of tweezers here to make sure every single lash and extension is separated, ready for the infill. Sometimes it can be a little tricky, but just take your time with this bit. Also, be careful where you're flicking them, the ones that you're taking off. I realised after taking off quite a lot of these, I'd flicked them all into her hair. Sorry, Jade. Some people do put pads on to do this. Over the time, I've realised the more you faff around with the eye, the more the pad is likely to move. So I try to do all my prep work before the pads go on, even priming the lashes and drying them, so that when the pads go on, I'm literally going to start lashing. So with two micro brushes, behind the lash and in front of the lashes, right at the root to about midway up, I've got some primer, and that's just going to take out any more oils, dust, anything that's on the lashes. That's all going to come off, and then these are going to be ready. Then get your client to look up, right up towards you, and with one finger I'm pulling the cheek down, and then with my other hand I'm placing the pads not too close to the lash line, but close enough. And I always get this bit wrong, I always have to adjust it. The inner corner will always pop up, it's so annoying, and I know I do it, I just do it every time. So here I am trying to adjust it in my head, going, you've done it again, you stupid cow. Let's see if we can fix it. I know we can't fix it. I know this is going to have to come off. So, yeah, after a year of lashing, I still have these problems. And pop. Nah, let's start again. So, the inner corner part, you need to pull it further down the nose so it's not too far up into the inner corner, and then it will stick down. And then we're going to get tape and then tape them right down to get all those lashes out of the way, otherwise you're going to have little stickies at the end. So I normally put 2 or 3 bits of tape depending on the eye shape. So I put one, this is the second one. Don't worry about those inner corners, those outer corners to begin with, because we can sort those out after. So just get your tape on. And then there is normally a gap in the middle, so I put 3 bits. Just that one in the middle is going to cover that gap when the eye's shut. And when she closes, I release that outer corner and it will release the skin that's been pinched up. And we're just pulling the eyelid up just to check that those pads are not going to be popping her in the eye, because we don't want that. And then pulling out those little corner lashes. I don't normally use my fingers like that. I normally use a brush. And then we're going to give them a brush ready for drying with my little fan. This is the slowest fan in the world, by the way. This is from Lash Art. I could do like Dyson creating a fan, a little lash fan, so that I have the lashes dry in like a second. If the lashes aren't totally dry, nothing is gonna stick. So to make sure that they're dry. Maybe spend like a couple of minutes drying them. I tend to work one eye at a time. So I make sure one eye's totally dry and then the other one's like partially dry, because by the time I get there anyway, it'll be dry. And now she's all dry. She's 100% ready for lashes. So I hope that's been really helpful to anybody struggling. Thank you very much.